Morning Drive, brought to you by Golf Pride.
A very good morning and welcome into Morning Drive. Anna Whiteley and Damon Hack with you on a Thursday. Well, we have some breaking news regarding the resumption of play on the PGA Tour. The Tour had previously targeted the restart of the season at the Charles Schwab Challenge on the week of May 18th. But in a press release this morning, they've announced that they will be delaying that timeline by 3 weeks to resume play the week of June 8th at that same event at Colonial Country Club. Damon?
Anna, the commissioner of the PGA Tour, Jay Monaghan, had this to say about shifting their timeline back to June. Quote, "The health and safety of all associated with the PGA Tour and our global community continues to be our number one priority. And our hope is to play a role responsibly in the world's return to enjoying the things we love. Today's announcement is another positive step for our fans and players as we look toward the future. But as we've stressed on several occasions, we will resume competition only when, working closely with our tournament's partners and communities, it is considered safe to do so, under the guidance of the leading public health authorities," end quote. Anna?
Okay, so let's take a closer look at the complete schedule now. As we said, things begin in June with the Charles Schwab Challenge, followed by the RBC Heritage, which had previously been cancelled. The Travelers Championship and Rocket Mortgage Classic will be the next two tournaments, but it is important to note that the Tour has announced that these first four tournaments will be played without fans. The Memorial Tournament has been rescheduled to be played the week of July 13th in the vacant spot left when the Open was cancelled. The WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational, along with the opposite field Barracuda Championship, are moving to the end of July. Meanwhile, the Tour has cancelled the Barbasol Championship. As previously announced, August will feature the PGA Championship, followed by the Wyndham Championship and the start of the FedEx Cup playoffs with the Northern Trust and the BMW Championship. The season will conclude with the Tour Championship the first week of September, ending on Labor Day, Monday, September 7th. And the PGA Tour has also now determined the events that will begin their 2020-2021 wraparound season, which will begin on September 10th with the Safeway Open. As previously announced, the US Open and the Ryder Cup will follow in September, but the Tour is now moving the Corrales Punta Cana Resort and Club Championship to September 24th. The month of October will feature the Sanderson Farms Championship, the Shriners Hospitals, the Children Open, the CJ Cup at Nine Bridges, and the Zozo Championship. And moving into November, the Houston Open will begin the month and lead into the Masters the following week. After the Masters, players will head to Sea Island for the RSM Classic on November 19th. And finally, December will begin with the Mayakoba Golf Classic, which is played opposite the Hero World Challenge, the unofficial event hosted by Tiger Woods. Also of note, after 10 years, a military tribute at the Greenbrier will no longer be a PGA Tour event and is removed from the schedule. Damon?
Well, Anna, the PGA Tour's Chief Tournaments and Competitions Officer, Andy Pazder, had this to say about the changes to begin next season. Quote, "This portion of our 2020-21 schedule is possible only because of the many partners who have worked tirelessly to grow their events and impact the lives of those in need in their respective communities, and our players who have embraced the expanded fall schedule in recent years. We'd like to express our appreciation to the leadership of the Safeway Open, Houston Open, and Mayakoba Golf Classic, which will conclude our calendar year schedule in Riviera Maya, Mexico, for their flexibility, which allowed for the U.S. Open and Masters tournament to be played in the fall," end quote. Anna?
And finally, the PGA Tour also announced more plans for some of their other assets. The Korn Ferry Tour is set to return with a new tournament to be contested in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, the week of June 8th. The Mackenzie Tour will postpone their first 6 scheduled events of the season. Schedule changes for the PGA Tour champions will be announced in the coming weeks ahead as well. So be sure to stay tuned to Golf Channel. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as this breaking news continues to unfold. And don't miss anything this evening by following Golf Central. We'll see you soon.